Oh, hey, how you doing there, guys? I didn't see you there. I was just doing some straightening up here in the garage. Had some things laying around, needed to get this place looking a little better, you know? How you guys doing? It's good to see you. Welcome back to my garage. We have a little project in the garage we're working on today. It's not too much. We just gotta, put a little bit of a lift on her, put some lifting springs in her, and throw on some new rims and tires that we got for our new ride over here, and I'll show you guys. Let's head on into the workshop. Yeah, another pickup truck, nice blue pickup. But yeah, what we need to do today is I got some lifted springs here, and we need to lift the suspension on this thing. Then I got some nice rims and tires, as you see here, for the old girl. And we need to make a run over to Lewis's parts store and grab some window tint. I think that would be something good to do. Tint the windows. And I think really that's about all we're gonna do to this old girl. Oh yeah, I got a radio sitting over there that we gotta actually this one here we have to put in install, because this truck currently does not have a radio in it. So I think best thing to do is just get to work. Get this truck lifted up in the air so we can get access to those springs and pull those springs out. Alright, I don't think we need to go up all the way. Well, let's grab our ratchet over here. Let's take out our old leaf springs here. Move this guy out of the way so he's not being kicked around all over creation. Yeah, just some finishing touches on this old girl. I just got her in the shop. Actually, local buddy around here was selling this old girl. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take her off your hands and, maybe do a few things to it and make it my own. Oh, we got to get inside. The bolt is inside on this one. Got to drop down a little bit. There we go. Throw this leaf spring out. Yeah, these leaf springs are still in perfect condition. Throw this guy in there, get her tightened up. There we go. Let me know if you play this game, My Garage. And if you do, what project are you currently working on in your garage? That'd be cool to know, see what you guys are working on. Alright, now we got the rear suspension swapped out. Our leaf springs. Now let's move to the front. Alright. Let's grab this one here. Pull this one out. There we go. Tighten her up. Alright. That easy. Let's move on over to the other side. Sometimes it is a little tricky getting to some bolts, but yeah, you get it. Grab this leaf spring out of there. Actually, let's take it back here and drop her down. Yeah, we're just kicking them all around, aren't we? And let's install this one. Whoa! Well, the truck went for a jump, didn't it? I don't like seeing that. With it raised up in the air, that's never good. All right, let's get her lower down just a little bit, so she's not so high in the air. In case she does try to jump off the lift, she doesn't fall far. All right, now let's take these tires off because we want to swap them out with these new guys here, these big chonky boys. Just throw those down right there. That is a nice blue, I think. Alright, let's throw our wrench down here on our toolbox. I want to gather these leaf springs out of the way. Throw them outside the door here so I can later on throw them in the barn. So we can save them. These are... They're perfect leaf springs. Why would you ever throw them away? Or why would you take them to Steve? I mean, these are perfect. At some point, you can reuse them. Whole set of new leaf springs there. I love it. Alright, let's throw our tires out the door. These look pretty decent too. Maybe we'll keep those. You never know when you need a old set of tires to throw on something just to move it or what have you. Alright, there you go. Some more new parts for us. Gotta love it. I think what we're going to need to do is probably raise that up some. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of extra work to this truck. We're going to take... How does that center cap look? Okay, so that's gonna cover that gray up. Let's take this guy. He's gonna pop off of there. Usually they like to pop off of there. They don't like to be taken off. Let's take these guys, and I want to take them over to the Material Master, and I want to chrome them black. I think chroming them black would look pretty good. Because our rims are chrome and black, so... Let's do that. Throw that guy back on. I would have taken off our hub here and done that, but I think that's going to be covered up by the rim. So it's never going to be seen. So I don't think there's any point to do that. Now, this is going to require a little extra work because I don't think we can get this. I don't think that's going to come off of there with the brake. Oh, it did. That's our lucky day, guys. It's like hitting the lottery. I didn't think that would have came off of there with the brake caliper on there. But then again, stranger things have happened. Alright. Let's go over to the Material Master once again. Pick that guy up. There we go. Okay. Let's grab our wrench again. Or a ratchet, whatever you want to call it. This guy's a ratchet. Alright. I don't know how these are going to look, guys. And I heard these might be a little bit to bolt down, so we'll see. We'll see if we can get to all these bolts easy. There's one. Let's zoom up here a little bit. And I think we have one more. Yeah. Oh, nope, two more. Okay, I think that was it. That does not look good. Yeah, that is not right. That is not right. So let's take those off. I didn't know what kind of trouble we were going to run into with these. You never know when you're using a new rim and tire for the first time what kind of trouble you could get into with how it will sit on your vehicle. Yeah, that's not right. I wonder if we use spacers on those. I wonder if that will push that out further. It should, beyond the brake caliper. And I'm almost wondering if we should chrome the brake calipers too in black. Well, let's run over to Little Lewis's shop. What the heck is the door for the dyno doing open over there? Who knows? Alright, let's grab some tent wire over here, and we will grab some spacers. And I said tent, not tits. Probably number 2, I guess. I think all we're going to need is 1. And I think we have number 2 tent back at the crib anyways, but it is what it is. What else did we come with? Oh yeah, spacers. I already forgot, guys. Do we want 50s or do we want 100s? So let's look at them.
I got a joke about paper for you, but it's terrible anyway.
Yeah. I think we're probably going to have to go with the 100s. Because I don't even know if the 50s will clear that caliper. Almost the whole caliper was sticking out. And that caliper has to be as thick as that 50 millimeter spacer. So let's give that a whirl. And I bought one more extra than I should have. But it is what it is. You know what? Let's grab 3 of the 50s. Because maybe we can use the 50s instead of the 100s. I don't know. Maybe we'll just go with 100s and possibly call it a day. Well, we're going to black chrome the spacers also. Just don't know what spacers are what spacers. Alright, throw that down for right now. Watch it roll away on me and then I won't ever be able to see it again. Look at it. Look at it just go wild. That's a small one. That's a small one. It's the winter tent. There we go. And there we go. Throw these down. Wait a minute. Did I buy the wrong one? No. There's the extra one. Okay. Alright, just throw that down. Let's load these up. Let's grab this while we got it in our hand. Let's see what we can do with this. Just like that, just enough, guys. 5 windows tinted. Alright, let's see if we can get to work on this and see if we can get it to work. We gotta raise it back up. Because that's not gonna work to put those big old tires on it if it's almost sitting on the floor. So let's see if this will now work. If not, we're going to have to come up with another rim and tire solution probably, unless we go all the way to the 150 millimeter spacers, which is a possibility. Okay, that just sits. I can't get back there far enough to see, but yeah. It just sits right behind it. So that's good. That's what we want. Let's grab our wrench. Change it to tightening. Oh, now the bolts are all out now. Okay. Well, that helps a lot. So, our rim must have been sitting so far in that the bolts were just pushed back in. Okay. Well, that makes sense then. I know the caliper's a little different color, but I think it's alright. I think that's alright. You can tell that it's a different color. It's not as dark of a black, but I'm still fine with that. I don't mind that at all. Do not mind that at all. Be interesting to see what she looks like on the ground once we get all these tires on. Alright, grab our other wheel. Yeah, these are some really nice rims and tires. This is part of a set called Bryson's wheel pack, I believe. I'll show you guys in the catalog what I'm talking about. They can be found on Spaz's Discord server. If you guys are wondering, we'll have to pop in the radio still. But I'll show you guys before I forget. You guys go to just all cars and then, oh no, all engines. Excuse me, guys. And then go down here all the way to Bryson's show rims. I think he has another rim pack too. And then you go over here to accessories. And that brings up, I know you can't see any pictures, but it has 6 different rims. These aren't rims here. These are lights or whatever they are. I haven't figured out what these are. If anybody knows what these rock lights, front and rock light R's are for probably the rear, let me know. But yeah, these American Forces, the JTX, the ones we just put on the truck, are the KG1 Forge. And then the Cali Off-Road and the American Forces 4. And then the KG1 Forge 3. And there's a Tire 1, which I believe is what we put on the truck. And then there's a Tire 2, which is even bigger. So, let's lower this down a little bit and grab our air compressor. And let's fill these. There's, okay, there's the valve stem. Yeah, these tires are huge. All right. Yeah, I put all the spacers on there, didn't I? Yeah, okay, that has a spacer on it. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Alright, let's cruise around to the other side and get the other 2 passenger side tires. Yeah, there's a spacer there. Spacer there and spacer there, yeah. I don't know why I thought that. All right, let's lower her down and see what she looks like. Yeah, this wasn't going to be a real big video today, guys. This was just doing some touches on a pickup truck I just bought. Man, this thing is tall. Slide her on in there. And let's push her back a little bit if we can. This thing's... Oh. What are we hitting on? What are we hitting on? We're hitting on something. We're gonna end up messing her up. Alright. Is she too tall? Hopefully she's not too tall to fit in here. Because if we did, I really screwed some things up. Alright. Let's get in her. Also, this thing has a... I should probably check again because I loaded back in. I am using a modded engine for the first time that I've ever used this engine. It is the 392, the Hemi 392 Demon in here. There is a little bit of clipping with this engine. It is a modded engine, like I said, as you can tell. But yeah, it is from Spaz's Discord server. It is Spaz's one of his engines, his standalone engines. But this is the V8 392 with the Demon supercharger on top that I put in here. First time I've ever used the engine. But I just want to check some things first. Make sure... This is the second time I've loaded back in with this engine and transmission in this truck. But I just want to make sure that everything is tightened down. Now, this engine and transmission, it does not fit perfectly in these B200, which obviously is a base game truck. And one of them you see right there, right into the cab. It's actually with the truck lifted, it makes it easier to get to things over for the engine. This is the engine bolt for your wires, for your battery wires. It usually goes here, but it's right there. And right here, you don't see the alternator wire. Obviously, the starter wire either that I checked. Okay. And then from what I found, there is no actually exhaust for this engine. It just has open headers on it. I mean, everything looks good. I'm going to go down under. If I can get down in here. Oh, there's my freaking... I've been looking for this guy. I bought an extra freaking mirror to replace. I put another chrome one in there, but I dropped it and I lost it into the truck and I couldn't find it. So I bought another mirror to install in there. And then my mirror is right here. It's a new mirror. I can't get under there because the B200 has weird collisions. So, don't mind this, guys. I'm going to do a little crazy shit. So, you got to go in here and make sure this bolted down. It's weird. Like I said, it's a modded engine. Modded engine and transmission. So, if I can get in there right, Just make sure everything... There's actually 2 bolts right here that you have to tighten down. 2 bolts here also. 2 bolts over here, if I can get them to light up. And there's 2 bolts here for some reason. I don't know. You don't have the regular bolts on the outside of the camshaft here. So yeah, and it doesn't bolt up exactly right here. Like I said, there's a gap here. And then you don't have the transmission bolts underneath it here like you normally would in a V8. So yeah, some things are a little different. Like I said, it's a modded engine, so you know, it is what it is. But it's the first time I've used this engine, so yeah, it's pretty cool, and it sounds differently than the base game ones. So let's get this truck out of here, and she looks absolutely phenomenal. Could actually change those the leaf springs too to black, but I'll leave them green, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll take them off there at a later date. I do have some running boards on here. I do have a roll bar. You guys see some stuff, right, that obviously isn't part of the base game, but you know. Got to jump into the guy because he's so tall. See how she sounds different than the base game V8? There we go, guys. Let's back her on out slowly. So, I don't know if we're going to make this. If not, we're going to have to take these wheels back off of her again to get her out. Okay, she's coming out. She is home free. I should have checked the fluids in again since I checked all the bolts just to make sure. I should have checked the fluids, but I didn't before I just started it. This one you gotta like zoom out so you can see. Okay, our oil looks good. There we go. And then our coolant. I'm just gonna stick my head through because it's gonna be the easiest to see the coolant. All right, our coolant is full. Yeah, it's up there. It's full. All right. I just wanted to make sure, you know, using the modded engine, you just don't know, right? Because I used another modded engine by the same modder, the Hellcat engine, and the transmission wanted to keep on bolting from itself every time I loaded back in. This one isn't seeming like it's doing any of that, so I'm very pleased with this. And this engine, this modded engine, has so much more customization and performance parts than that Hellcat. But yeah, I got this engine to produce, or the engine that I have in here. It won't say engine and gearbox in here because the game doesn't recognize it because it's a modded engine and gearbox. So that's why you won't see it. But I got that Demon in here to produce 873 horse. So yeah, overall 5 stars, so you can't complain, right? I mean, I don't think it's registering some of the parts because I think that price is a little low. I think normally you would probably be up, I think, around about 21, 22,000. But it is what it is. It's still 5 star. You could take it to the service center and get a premium price for it. But we are not going to do that. So yeah, guys, how do you think that bad girl looks? I mean, just with the rims and tires alone and lifted the truck, just changed the look, I think, of this truck just completely in a way. I mean, this thing looks pretty awesome now. If you ask me. It looks pretty cool. I like it a lot, man. I mean, just really, really nice. Oh yeah, and this thing too, if we go to the passenger side, I'll show you guys. That's the starter there. That clips through the floor, and then that part of the gearbox clips through right there. I don't like clipping that much, and this does bother me slightly. I will say slightly, it does bother me. But it's not enough to bother me to say, oh yeah, I gotta pull the engine out of the truck and the gearbox and replace it. It doesn't bother me that much. And probably too because it's a cool engine I got to build, and I'm going to keep the mod around because I like this 392 engine mod with all kind of performance accessories that go with it. You wouldn't believe, man, this thing is awesome. Like, there's so much, and I'm going to try to do some other things with that engine in some different cars. So, yeah, this is how it just looks in the B200. Some of the other different cars, it may have no clipping inside the cab of the vehicle. So, yeah. But yeah, it doesn't bother me enough to take it out. So, and actually, I think I did this vehicle because I'm going to probably actually sell it on the Discord. So this was kind of like a build that I had for the Discord. But I just took a regular B200 from over at the used car dealer, fixed it up to where everything, I fixed it, put everything new on it. Like when I do my Discord builds for the Discord to sell on the Discord, I make sure I build it basically from the ground up, install all new for the most part. I mean, everything basically, at least 99.9% is all new. And I basically build a whole new vehicle. And then I customize it with modded parts after that. So yeah, that's kind of how I do my Discord builds, to sell on Discord. But yeah, there were about like 5 or 6 different mods I used on this truck total. But yeah, very, very cool. I love the absolute look of this. And yeah, the 100mm spacers, I think are just fine for this truck like this. Just fine. Now, the running boards, they're debatable, I would say. They're debatable. Could take them off, could leave them. It really doesn't matter. But it gives it a little bit of an extra look, right? So that's why I went for it. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. It was just a nice, hopefully a short little video. It turned into a lot longer than what I had planned, but that's just me standing around talking a lot because that's just what I do. If you guys have been around here long enough, you know that's just what I do. I like to talk, so some people don't like that, but that's fine. But this turned out absolutely great, I think. So if you guys like this video, leave it a like. If you like my content, like my channel, consider subscribing to me. All your support is greatly appreciated. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Thank you for watching.